Hi, I'm Miles Bridges, and this is my project for IDS 140 Summer 2016, and my designer is Ludwig Mies van der Rohe. He was born March 27, 1886, in Aachen, Germany. He moved to Berlin and joined designer Bruno Paul. He started becoming serious when he started working with Peter Behrens in his studio through 1908 through 1912. He also was the construction manager for the embassy of the German Empire. While Mies was in Germany, he had many creations before he moved to America. For example, the Real House in 1907, the Your Big House in 1917, the Africa Centrici Apartments in 1927, the Wiesen Hoffenzlang in 1927, and the Tungent and Barcelona chair in 1929. Mies moved to America in 1937. Shortly after he arrived, he got a job at the School of Architecture at Chicago Armor Institute. He worked there until he retired. He had many creations there. After Mies moved to America, he had many historical designs in America, such as the Minerals and Metals Building in 1943 in Chicago, the Promontory Apartments 1949 in Chicago, the Farnsworth House, which is very important, in 1951 in Plano, Illinois, the 860, 880 Lakeshore Apartments in 1951 in Chicago, the Seagram Building 1958 in New York, New York, the Martin Luther King Memorial Library, which is also important, in 1972 in Washington, D.C., Museum of Fine Arts in Houston. That was his last museum before he passed. Mies studied past philosophers and thinkers so he could teach himself. He created most of his designs to express the modern age. Mies wanted to connect his work with nature, that's why his house had so much space, the Farnsworth house. That was most of his reasons for his creations. The Farnsworth house was designed by Mies in 1945 and constructed in 1951 for Dr. Edith Farnsworth as a retreat along the Fox River. It has glass walls. None of the walls are solid. It has a long front porch which connects the house to nature. It looks like a glass box. It's so unique I've never seen anything like it. This doesn't look like an ordinary house. It looks more like an open space with glass around it leading to the forest. The Farnsworth house is located in Plano, Illinois. The 860-880 Lakeshore Apartments were created in 1951. He created this to set a standard for tall buildings in Chicago. The tall buildings in New York gave him motivation to create this. The buildings were built out of steel, aluminum, and glass. This is located in Chicago. The Seagram Building was created in 1958. It was created as an office building. This is Mies' largest work made of aluminum, glass, and steel, very similar to the Lakeshore Apartments. I chose to focus on the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Library. This was created for public institutions to have a public site in Washington, D.C. There are many local libraries, but this one became the go-to library. It was created after Mies' death. It was created in 1972, located in Washington, D.C. 400,000 square feet of floor used for public institutions. Mies didn't go through a lot to architect this work because he was deceased. My evaluation and criteria. First off, I have structure. The structure is very unique in the inside. The outside looks beautiful, but not as unique or different than the inside. The inside has many rows and columns. It sort of makes it look like a maze, and the black shelves with lights on it makes the book stand out. It makes you want to pick up a book. Second is style. Libraries are considered boring, but if you look at this library, it's so huge and beautiful it makes you want to go in. Looking at the building gives you an energy that you can't explain. And third and final is philosophy. I really love the philosophy. The name of this building just gives it power. Martin Luther King was a smart, strong man, and everybody knows that. So it will give people more motivation to go and explore that library just based off the name. I think it is good for the community because Washington, D.C. has many bad areas and troubled kids could go to that library instead of doing other stuff.